Way in South Los Angeles. Mark Kono and Sky 5 HD over this U-Haul truck. Mark.
Wow. Yeah, have a look at this. This is going to be Hooper Avenue northbound, just coming past Vernon Avenue. The LAPD in pursuit of this U-Haul truck. I'm not sure the circumstances. We're still trying to ascertain that at this point, but the person driving very desperately here in a manner that is reflective of someone who is very desperate and not wanting to get away or wanting to get away from the police at this point. We are basically in South LA. We just made a westbound turn. The LAPD is overhead with a helicopter here. Sky 5 HD is the only news helicopter covering this. You are only going to see this on KTLA. The LAPD is on scene. We understood that they may be considering just putting this in tracking mode, where they are basically following this with the air unit above, and that is because of the safety concerns to people and commuters on the ground here. This person driving northbound now on Central Avenue here, northbound on Central from Vernon Avenue is where this where this LAPD pursuit is taking us here. We're still trying to get into the cab of that U-Haul to find out how many people may be inside that vehicle here. We're hearing that it may be one male driver. Rich Prickett, our Sky 5 photographer, getting the tips here. It looks like he's into a parking lot, and he's going to go through the parking lot. Wow, this is dangerous. Okay, into an alley, into a secondary parking lot, and now onto a residential street here. So you can see right behind the AutoZone where this person now driving through an alley is just driving very dangerously, high rates of speed, all things considered here. He's going to come up at the end of the alley, and he might T-bone a car that's just now coming up on him. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Coming through the alley again northbound here. He was able to dodge that one silver SUV here, but this guy driving very dangerously at this point. Again, northbound through the alley. We're just on the west side of Central Avenue here. Right at about Vernon is where we are, so just a little bit north of Vernon. And this person just trying to negotiate a way out of this situation here. Again, we understood that they may be considering it's a female. Okay, it's a female driver, and acting very animated at this point, shaking forward and backward at the steering wheel here. So again, just a situation where this person extremely agitated, or so it seems by the emotions that we can see her driving. And so again, in this residential neighborhood, she is acting very desperate at this point. The LAPD is now closing in on her in terms of vehicular units behind her, at least 1, 2, 3 units in 4 units in relatively close proximity to her. So that is kind of what we're looking at right now. So hopefully they will be able to get this person stopped. And now a westbound turn, and we're going to be somewhere near MLK, and somewhere near MLK near San Pedro is where this pursuit is now taking us. Guys?
You know, usually it's hard to tell if someone's going really fast from the sky, but you could tell just how fast she was going down these side streets. This is so dangerous. We saw a woman with a baby carriage.
Oh my goodness.
Another person.
Oh, someone in the,
yeah,
almost hit someone in the crosswalk.
So this is just a terrible situation, weaving in and out of neighborhoods, and people have no idea.
Obviously, if you have friends or family anywhere in this neighborhood, and we're talking about
coming up on Pedro.
Okay, yeah, give us a locator here, Mark, so that folks can talk to their friends and family and make sure they stay inside.
Okay, Pedro northbound, and I believe now she took a side street off of San Pedro, but she will be coming up on, I'll try and get a street for you here. And just work with me here. It's kind of tough working all this out here. But again, an eastbound turn over towards Avalon here. So eastbound MLK, and now turning northbound. On Avalon, right where Avalon and Pedro meet here. So heading in towards downtown LA is one way to put it here. But traveling at a pretty high rate of speed, and that is certainly a very scary situation for us to see here. So San Pedro northbound, and just coming up on a T intersection here. Actually more of a triangle intersection, and that's going to be where Avalon and San Pedro come together, going right through the intersection there. So opposing lanes of traffic, head-on traffic. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow, that was scary. Avoided that opposing traffic coming at her here. So northbound, again, on San Pedro, coming up on Adams Boulevard here. And this person just driving very dangerously here, avoiding being caught by the LAPD, but weaving in and out of traffic. It looks like the LAPD units are still over the intersection of San Pedro and Avalon, so well behind at this point. But making a westbound turn into the neighborhood again. tailgating a smaller sedan at this point, but now heading westbound over towards, in other words, the 110 freeway at this point. So this is just a very dangerous situation here. Pedestrians on the street, commuters on the road. It's just, you know, just an extremely dangerous situation. It looks like she wants to make a right turn northbound, and that's going to put us somewhere near Maple Avenue from Adams Boulevard, and just kind of dodging traffic. It's just an extremely scary situation here, guys.
Folks want to know where this is. Maple Avenue will eventually run into Washington Boulevard and the 10 freeway. So this is just south of the 10 freeway right now on these surface streets. A woman apparently driving this U-Haul truck at very dangerous speeds, going in the wrong way in traffic at several times, running through lights, running through stop signs, coming very close. Oh, there's a cyclist very close to hitting people. And here we go through another very busy intersection. And there's a train track there right over the top of that.
Maple and Washington. Westbound Washington from Maple. And you saw this lady almost hit that cyclist that was in the street here. So Maple to Washington, now over to Los Angeles Street, where at the end of the street, okay, she's going to have to negotiate her way around a box truck here, but now coming up to the edge of the 10 freeway, that is just going to be a very small street. She's not necessarily going to box herself in. She is going to be making an eastbound turn again over to Maple Avenue here, where she can either go left or right, north or south, and it looks like at this juncture, she is going to turn north, and that is going to be the 10 freeway right over Maple. And now heading into downtown LA proper. So this is kind of where it gets a little bit tricky because of a lot of pedestrian traffic, vehicular traffic, a lot of the buildings that are in the way here, so it makes it a little bit difficult for the air unit. And Copters TV5 will be clear north VFR, thank you.
Right near Maple Avenue, right near Santee Alley is the direction, TV5. I believe, that this truck is headed, if you know that sort of shopping area. If this person continues on Maple, it would be right through near the flower market, the fashion district, but turning all over the place.
And that's a part of town where people are out on the streets.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's vendors, there's, you know, people walking to and from the shops, a lot of foot traffic in this part of town, and people on bicycles. So we see this woman being incredibly reckless, racking up all kinds of infractions at this point, going down the wrong side of the road. And, you know, unbeknownst to the person coming the other direction, they don't know that this U-Haul...
Look at this, squeezing right through there.
Does not care about public safety at all. We do believe a woman is behind the wheel. She seemed to be under a lot of distress. We closed, Mark Kono kind of closed in on that driver's side window, and she seemed to be kind of banging her head against the wheel. There's a woman trying to cross the street.
So, oh my goodness.
This is just the last thing you want to see. Mark, you had mentioned that authorities maybe wanted to back off a little because this person was so dangerous and just follow them from the sky.
Yeah, they were considering just kind of tracking this from a distance overhead via the helicopter, but I can tell you that there are at least 3 units of the LAPD that are in relative close proximity to her. And, you know, the purpose of tracking essentially is to not agitate the person any further by, you know, putting units directly behind her. You know, just track it from the airship and kind of let things settle down. Maybe she won't drive as erratically as she has been showing here. Okay, TV5's 1004. Now eastbound, heading over towards the Produce Mart here, and we'll try and get a street for you here, but you can see even on the surface streets here in downtown where it's a little bit more congested, traveling at a very high rate of speed here, and we'll just be coming up on the edge of the Produce Mart here shortly, where we are traveling eastbound. I believe that's going to be either 8th or 9th, and we'll be coming up on basically Alameda here shortly. So going to go right through the intersection. No, turning, yeah, right through the intersection. My goodness. Okay, this is going to put her in pretty close proximity to a lot of pedestrians on the ground, right in the heart of the Produce Mart. Is okay, yeah, I think she's realizing she's going to jam herself up here. So, okay, she's hitting a couple of vehicles. She's actually hit a couple of vehicles there. Now turning back northbound. She reversed out of that situation here, and now turning back northbound. Again, Sky 5 HD is the only news helicopter here covering this particular pursuit here, coming through downtown LA. This all started probably about 10 to 15 minutes ago here, and just on the west side of the Produce Mart. Oh, she is in the Produce Mart. Have a look at this. Oh my gosh. Okay, lots of people. Forklift traffic, people. Okay. loading docks. She's going to trap herself. She's going to be stuck here. She's going to be stuck here. So let's see what happens. They're going to box her in right there. And so this may be where this ends here, unless she does something violent here. And so that, you know, given the circumstances, Rich, get ready to pull out just in case, okay? It looks like she's essentially boxing herself in, but trying to get out here. So let's see how the LAPD deals with this. Are they going to give her the space to get out of this? Or are they going to essentially trap her? Look at the pedestrians who don't know really what's going on here, and they're just kind of walking around. They don't realize that this is a police pursuit here. And so, okay, boom, there you go. Assault with a deadly weapon. Okay, this could end in a situation where the police have to use deadly force. So let's, shots fired. Oh my gosh, okay. She's going to make her way out. She's going to make her way out of the produce mart and now turn northbound. So this is an extremely, extremely dangerous situation. Now, it has now escalated to the point where, you know, she can be charged with assault with a deadly weapon. So there it is, northbound, just outside the produce mart here. No units directly behind her, no units directly behind her. But the airship is over her. She's just on the west side here. So we'll come around and show you what is happening there. Okay, she's gonna run. She's gonna run. She's on the inside of the produce mart. Inside of the produce mart, jeans, kind of a pinkish red shirt. And she may try and make her way out from right to left, guys, here. So let's kind of watch both sides of the street. But at any rate, you're seeing what we're seeing here, guys, in just a very tense situation where this person basically foot-bailed that U-Haul truck and is now inside of the building, now walking on the outside of the building, very animated, a lot of gesturing, just walking on the outside of the produce mart. She's going to approach these people here who apparently don't really know what's going on here. So there you go, Azteca Farms Inc., LAPD, closing in on her, ordering her out, and we're going to try and flatten out the shot so we can get in there and see what's going on. But essentially, you're seeing it unfold right here, where they are going to go in and essentially tackle her and take her down. And it is looking like they have apprehended her and are in the process of taking her into custody right outside Azteca Farms, inside the produce mart here, guys.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
You know, just watching this, our hearts are racing. Yeah. I can't imagine what police are dealing with at this moment, and the people in that produce market, many of them had no idea what was happening, and so incredibly lucky the people that she came so close to hitting. She hit a couple of police cruisers with her U-Haul.
And that, I'll tell you, that suspect, that woman, is lucky to be alive, because there was either a field supervisor or a sergeant who ran in, and I don't know if you noticed it, but literally told the other officers to lower their guns, and ran in and it looked like tackled that person, because I suspect realized that she was not armed and thought, let's end this without gunfire. And honestly, those officers were within their rights to fire. Because this person clearly posed a threat to everyone involved and had already attacked officers with a truck. So theoretically, that she could have lost her life right there with those officers with their guns drawn. But they have managed to arrest this person who put so many lives at risk, and we watched it live.
Yeah. Mark Kono, we see all kinds of things on a daily basis. Unfortunately, a lot of, you know, this is our second pursuit we saw today.
Yeah.
But this is a set of circumstances that we haven't seen before.
Mark, it looks like she's coming out.
Yeah, sorry about that. Talking to the police helicopter, asking if we got all this on videotape just in case. But yeah, there she is, still very animated, still kind of talking to the officers there as she is pulled out of the Azteca produce mart there. But again, just a very dangerous situation here. Sky 5 exclusive video here of this police pursuit and the termination here. The person, the suspect in this case, believed to be the only one in that U-Haul truck. Not sure of the circumstances leading up to this pursuit. Obviously, they did try and stop her, and there was a failure to yield, and the chase was on. But you saw that live on our air, KTLA, with the only coverage of this police pursuit. LAPD was in pursuit of this person through South LA. 77th Division officers in pursuit of this vehicle, of this suspect here, and now she has been apprehended, taken into custody after a wild pursuit, endangering the lives of many people, including pedestrians, cyclists, motorists on the road, and you saw her driving very erratically, very dangerously on the opposite lanes of traffic here, basically in a very dangerous fashion. And there's a U-Haul truck right there. The woman, the suspect in this case, has now been taken into custody here just outside the Produce Mart here. Of course, this is going to be central, right between 7th and 8th Street is where this is all taking place. And it looks like the LAPD's paramedics might be addressing someone who may have been injured at this point here. But again, this is right outside the west entrance to the Produce Mart here. Central between 7th and 8th is where this is taking place. Again, Sky 5 HD with that exclusive coverage. Guys?
An amazing scene, and thankfully, I don't know who they're attending to here, but it didn't appear as if anyone was seriously injured during this pursuit, and thankfully no one was killed. There is the suspect emerging, and maybe it's the suspect who received some sort of injuries. It's possible that she was shot, or there was some shattered glass, because it appeared as if an officer, after that assault with a deadly weapon occurred, fired at the cabin of the truck. It appears now that they're having to use some sort of further restraints on this person, which is really difficult to watch. And you know, we don't know what is causing the animated behavior, if it's and so we don't want to speculate about that. But clearly, this is someone who has some issues and is having to be treated in this way, so that she can be transported to jail and possibly to a hospital. So this is the scene that's happening right now, live in downtown LA at the Produce Mart. But again, this is the conclusion of a pursuit.
Yeah, and you know, as Mark's overhead, we saw the moment where she ran out of the U-Haul truck after she had hit police cruisers, and you know, officers had their guns drawn, and then they put them down, because we saw one officer gesture to the others, put it down, and he went in and put this woman under arrest and put her in handcuffs. What's happening now?
Well, sometimes if a suspect is spitting or trying to do things to the officers, that's, I believe, what they will use to try to prevent that person from spewing fluids at the officers, and that may be it, because they're used to the suspects screaming at them, and that's just part of the job, sadly. But you know, it's also possible that the suspect has tried to bite an officer. We don't know. Mark, I know you've been talking to the airships up there. What have you been able to learn?
You know what, still a very fluid situation here, and obviously she has been putting up a fight, and you know, to the point where even under restraint, even with handcuffs on, she's still wiggling around and giving officers a hard time there. But you know what, they've got 2-3 officers down there. They've put a mask. They've basically muzzled her from to prevent her from you know, spitting at them or biting them or anything like that. And so that's what's happening here. This is all happening right outside the Produce Mart here. Central between 7th and 8th is where this is happening. The fire department is on scene, presumably to have a look at someone here who might have sustained some injuries, possibly her. It sure seemed like she was under some sort of emotional distress when she was being pursued by the LAPD on Surface Street. She was really kind of just, you know, with both hands just against the steering wheel, both hands against the dashboard of that U-Haul as she was driving at extremely high rates of speed. So clearly she was distraught, under distress, and so we don't know what the circumstances were, but obviously she was very desperate and did not want to get caught, and just boxed herself in and put herself in a situation where she put her own life at risk, as well as the people that she was driving past. And so an extremely dangerous situation. But again, LAPD has this under control. It looks like the LAFD paramedics may at some point have a look at her just to check her condition. We don't know what she is undergoing here physically. Maybe she had some sort of an injury, maybe again some sort of distress that led to this pursuit. We just don't know at this point. So again, that is going to be something that they are going to be looking into over the course of the next several minutes here. But I can tell you, Central Avenue northbound is going to be shut down for this activity here. Cars are getting through southbound here, so you know, a very big presence here by the LAPD, and given the fact that this lady actually rammed a police car inside of the Produce Mart under tight quarters in a very dangerous situation. So yeah, every precaution being taken, but she is still you know, as we saw just a couple of minutes ago, is still just kind of wiggling around, giving the officers a hard time. So we'll see what happens.
Well, thankfully, those officers, and as far as we can tell, no one in the public was injured. Let's hope the suspect, that woman, gets the help that she apparently needs. Mark, thank you very much for your coverage. On to some other news now.